What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pages from Rock Bottom. I'm Matt.
And I'm Kim.
Trigger warning, real quick.
So tonight's episode, I want to do a trigger warning. We're going to be talking about child abuse, substance abuse, incarceration, relapse, trauma. Listener discretion is advised, guys. If you're struggling, please pause, seek support, and just know that you guys are not alone. So reach out if you guys need, if you guys get triggered by anything. So tonight we are joined by Thomas Billingsley. Did I say it right?
Yes, ma'am.
I did. Yay! All right. So, Thomas, tell us who you are and where you're from.
Thomas Billingsley. I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio. I moved to Meigs County when I was younger, and I'm currently in Athens, Ohio.
All right. So tell us who you are today, and not who addiction made you, but who you are now.
Who I am now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm trying to work an honest program. I'm staying in a sober living house. Today, I've been here for almost 2 years. I'm currently working for Habitat for Humanity. I work 2 different jobs. I work with a gentleman who's kind of like a brother to me now. I met him through the program, one of the programs. We do lawn care, snow removal. We do a bunch of stuff. I'm sponsoring one individual right now. I may have a second one here shortly. We've been talking here on and off at meetings. So I may be sponsoring another guy here shortly, which is kind of exciting. He seems like a real cool guy. I just introduced my younger brother into recovery. He is following my steps. He went to the Carlson Center, which is where I was for a moment, and then went to the Clem House, is where he's currently at right now. The John Clem Recovery House. It's an amazing place. The staff there is some great people. They've helped me out a lot coming through this sobriety. I can't say enough about the guys over there at that house. And the gentleman here, I live with 2 other gentlemen who are also in recovery, and they help me out a lot. I currently work with one of the gentlemen that stay here with me with Habitat for Humanity. Monday, I have a full-time position with Habitat. They're hiring me on full-time Friday.
Oh, that's
so Monday
awesome.
will be
Congratulations.
my first full day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So take us back, Tom. Take us back to when it all started for you.
My alcoholism and drug addiction started at like 8 years old. My father, he was an abusive man. He drank a lot, done a lot of drugs. My mom also drank and partied. I was the middle child, so if any of y'all grew up as a middle child, you know the torment that goes with that. So Dad had me drinking with him. Well, me, my older brother, and my older sister. By the time I was 8 years old, by the time I was 9, we were smoking weed together. Me and my brothers and my dad. He was a part of a biker club. I won't put names out, but he was a member of a club. So he was a violent man. We dealt with a lot of physical abuse, mental abuse, some sexual abuse, just a lot of crazy shit with him. He died when I was young, like 11, 12. He had an aneurysm that exploded due to his cocaine addiction. He went into convulsions in his bed, and we sat there and watched him die at a young age, which done a toll on my baby brother. Well, both my baby brothers. And he died like 5 times on the way to the hospital, and they kept bringing him back. When we found out he finally passed, me and my sister went and smoked a joint to kind of like celebrate, his passing, because he was brutal. Dealt with a lot of mental abuse from my mother. I was raised to believe I wasn't good enough. I was a big mistake. I should have never been born, which caused a lot of suicidal thoughts in me. I spent a lot of time in isolation. My older brother used to torment me, torture me, and beat me, put cigarettes out on me, cut me with razor blades. I have a real high tolerance for pain, and he liked to abuse that. You know what I mean? Uh, I got locked in closets, locked in basements
Oh,
for hours on end, days on end, and that isolation kind of became a security to me. So
yeah.
when I was real young and dad would come in drunk and start his shit, that's where I'd go. I'd hide in them spots in the closet, basement, anywhere I could by myself. So I learned at a real young age that isolation was my comfort zone. It was where I was safe. Uh, so when I started really getting into addiction was after my dad passed when I was like 13, 14 years old. I started smoking weed, started doing pills with my uncles because my whole family's alcoholics and drug addicts. Uh, at least all the ones that I've met, from my grandpa, my grandma, my aunts and uncles, are all battling addiction. My cousins, so everyone that I knew and loved was on drugs and alcohol. So
Yeah.
I assumed it was normal, that the whole world was.
Yeah,
So when I was
absolutely.
13, my mom met a gentleman who became my stepdad, who at first I couldn't stand, but later in life I learned that he was looking out for me and began to care about the guy. Uh, who he also passed of a drug addiction. But when I was 13, I was in and out of the home. I was spent most of my time bouncing from friend's house to friend's house, getting high, getting drunk, getting in fights, causing trouble, stealing shit, doing whatever I could to feed my addiction. Um, by the time I was 15, 16 years old, I was pretty much on my own. I was working at a Pizza Hut in Palmer, Ohio, and I was getting high the whole time I was working. Surprised I don't weigh 350 pounds from eating freaking pizza all night because I get high and get the
Yeah.
munchies.
Yeah.
They had beer kegs then, so I'd tap into the beer kegs and get drunk the whole
Oh.
time. Me and my manager would do coke and do mini thins
Oh,
over the
yeah, I
counter
remember
speed.
those. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
those.
we'd eat a bottle of those a night, and then I ended up getting a heart problem from it. Uh, by the time I was 18, I was arrested. Spent my 19th, 20th, and 21st birthday inside county jail. Not all at one time. I didn't do 3 years in county, but you know what I mean? I was in and out
Yeah.
constantly from the time I hit 18 until I went to prison. Uh, so I was constantly getting arrested, constantly in fights, uh, just out being buck wild, drinking, going to parties every night, getting up, going to school, leaving school by noon, walking out to the parking lot, and the people, I lived with two girls. So one of them I went to school with, the other one was 30 something years old. And I was 16, 17. I'd walk out to the car, they'd have a line of Coke lined out for me, a joint rolled, and a case of beer in the back, and a bottle of whiskey in the seat. And that's how I'd leave school at noon. I'd go to their house, party, go to work by 4, come back home by 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and start partying again until school. I'd go into high school and sleep. That was all I did. And then I'd leave at noon every day. That went on until I got kicked out of school. Got suspended a couple times for fighting, quit a few times, kept going back because that's where all my money was being made, was through the school.
School.
I had family members constantly giving me drugs. So I'd take them to school and sell them to get more and get high. And, you know what I mean? Just vicious cycle. You all know how it is. By the time I hit 22, I was wanted by the law for multiple fines, bullshit, fleeing and evading, driving with no ops, possessions, assaults. So I took off to Georgia, and that's where I got into construction, and that's where my cocaine addiction really took off. Because down south you get some fire ass coke. Uh, so I was buying 2 ounces of Coke a week. I was selling an ounce to the guys I worked with, and then I'd go through an ounce a week by myself with my old lady, her brother, my brothers, friends. You know what I mean? We'd just party on an ounce. And I did that every week for roughly 5 years. Come back to Columbus with the addiction, the cocaine addiction, the alcohol addiction, and kept getting in trouble there until I left from Columbus and went back down to Meigs and stayed on dope clear up until I had my children. I was a functioning addict. I could get high and go to work and go to school and do, normal shit that people done. And once I had my kids, I slowed way down. I started working 2 jobs. I was working at Bob Evans and Wendy's, and I ended up getting hired on to the riverboats. Ended up blowing both my knees out on the riverboat, and they were prescribing me 120 perks, 120 Roxys, and 90 Norco 10s a month. So I was snorting pills like they were candy.
Yeah.
That went on for almost 2 years before they done the surgery on my knee and then refused to let me back on the boats. So I sued the boat company, got $65,000, and blew through it in less than a year. I didn't do anything intelligent with the money. You know what I mean? I bought a car that I ended up blowing up. Bought a Jeep. I ended up tearing it up, mud running with it, letting my 10-year-old son drive it as we're mud running, drinking and drugging the whole time. Lost my kids when they were 8 and 10. And my home, my job, and my car all within a 7-day period. My mother got my 2 kids, pulled up to the house 3 days after she got custody and told me I had 3 days to leave the house. Nowhere to go, nothing. No job, no car, nothing.
Yeah.
So I packed up a couple bags and tore out. The first time I tried heroin was in that living room that very day. I shot up heroin and hit the floor. A friend of mine had stopped by to check on me and seen me through the window laying dead on the floor. No, I've never had Narcan in my house. Never knew nothing about it. She come in and was trying to do CPR on me and found a thing of Narcan underneath my couch. That was the first time I ever overdosed. First time I ever needed Narcan. After that, it became an obsession. The depression, the guilt, the shame of losing my kids dropped me. You know what I mean? That feeling of not being enough, not being a good father, like it dropped me. So that's what I wanted. I wanted death. So instead of chasing that high, I kept chasing that overdose. I kept chasing that death.
That's real.
The girl that stopped to save me multiple times. Ashley, my fiance, that you all had on here, saved my life multiple times. I still battle with a lot of guilt, shame, and depression today, but Ashley's taught me a lot of coping skills on how to deal with them. That girl's saved my life more than I can ever count. And yeah, I get a lot emotional, so don't laugh.
It's okay. It's okay.
But I went through a lot during my lifetime. Never had anybody tell me that they loved me and actually show. You know what I mean? When I first come into recovery, I was dealing with a lot of guilt, shame, regret, depression, suicidal thoughts. My brain was completely out of whack. Like the wiring was just gone. I have a lot of anger issues that took me a long time to cope with. My first reaction is always to explode, break shit, throw shit, hurt people. Like it didn't matter. I got mad. I wanted to see blood.
Yeah.
Whether it was my own or not. I'm a self-mutilator. I like to, used to cut on myself, burn myself, torture myself, because that's what I believed I deserved.
Mm.
The drugs, the alcohol, the family, the depression, the guilt, the shame, all had me believing I deserved death. So I searched for it and chased it for a long time. In one of the pictures I sent you, I'm overdosed on a couch. It
Yep.
was right after they Narcan me. Ashley ran a quarter of a mile 3 times just to get Narcan to save my ass. While I was overdosed, and was turning purple and all that gray crap, turning gray and all kind of crap, I had like a dream vision or whatnot, and Ashley was in it. And I could hear her voice, and it was the craziest thing I ever heard. Which that kind of killed my thought of suicide for a while. You know what I mean? Like it broke me a little bit. After that, I didn't really like chase the death part of this overdose. It kind of, I started to scare it a little bit. You know what I mean? Scare from it. But I still was battling that addiction. I still needed that high. I was doing shots of cocaine, heroin, and crystal meth all at one time, right in my jugular.
Oh.
I'd hang my head off the edge of the bed, have somebody hit me in my throat, and then set me up as soon as they take the needle out of my neck. And the head rush would drop me. I'd hit the floor. Just crazy stuff like that was all I was chasing. I ended up catching a burglary case shortly after losing my kids, maybe 4 or 5 years after losing my kids. Never heard anything about recovery, never knew nothing about recovery. When I was sitting in county for the burglary, they had only charged me for one burglary, which it was the same house, but we entered it so many times that they hit me, annulled my charges, and re-indicted me on multiple counts. They made me plea out to 3 years and told me that I could judicial out in 6, but I felt like I deserved to be sitting in prison.
Yeah.
I didn't deserve to be happy. I didn't deserve to live. I didn't deserve to have my kids. I didn't, you know what I mean? My brain was gone. I didn't deserve anything. So I sat my whole 3 years in the joint. And while I was in there, I stayed sober. Like, county's a hard place to get dope.
Yeah.
You sneak it in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I stayed sober for roughly a year and a half. And my baby brother got sent to the joint on child support. And was supposed to be there for a year. So when I found out he was at CRC, that brought my depression back. And I broke and ended up doing some meth in the joint. Which, if you ever been to the joint, that's the easiest place to get dope.
Yeah.
My bunkie had it, my neighbors had it, like everybody in the joint has some kind of dope.
Yeah.
So I started smoking again, started doing dope, was still working out. When I got arrested and hit CRC, I weighed 118 pounds.
Woo. Yeah.
I went from 118 pounds to 170 pounds. The picture of me holding the GED that I got in the joint, certified for fiber optics while I was in the joint, all that happened after my release. So it only took 6 months of being in prison, 6 months of a halfway house, and a year out to go back down to 120 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
I dropped everything. I quit working out, you know what I mean? Started chasing the dope again. Broke my probation multiple times. My PO, she was a sweetheart. She never sent me back. I walked into her office one day, higher than hell on methamphetamines, and she took one look at me and told me, "You're high as hell." I said, "Yeah, I am." She said, "Well, I can't test you. Go home, come back in 3 days, and I'll test you then." So I left and went to Marietta and never went back. This is where my recovery begins. I'm sitting in Marietta with my brothers. We're sitting there getting high. We're smoking fatty and shooting meth, smoking meth. And my nephew called me about my son getting kicked out of my mom's. He got accused of stealing $100 from my half sister. My half sister punched him, so she smacked him back. So my half sister, my mom, and my half sister's boyfriend beat my son up. Took his cell phone from him and kicked him out with nowhere to go. So my nephew went and picked him up and was wanting to go and get custody of him. Love you too, Amanda. She's one of the ones that saved my life multiple times. He called me up and asked me if, I had any objections to him trying to get custody from my mom because she booted him out, beat the hell out of him. And she treated him the same aspect she did me. Kept telling him he's useless, he's not enough, he's not wanted, and all this. But at the same time, she adored my daughter and babied my daughter. So my son got the abuse that I always got. And my daughter told me, Dad, I need you. We need you. Come home. So I told my brother that night, I'm leaving Marietta. I'm going to turn myself in. I'm going to get help. I'm getting my kids back. So I left and went back down to Meigs. And when I got to Meigs County, I was so scared to turn myself in because it felt like I was snitching on myself. And for some reason, I couldn't bring myself to make it easy for the cops down there because the cops in Meigs County are crooked as fuck. Half the judges are crooked as hell. The lawyers are like, it's a shithole for real. And it's getting worse. So I went back down to Meigs and I kept getting high. And I went to make a delivery for one of my plugs at the time. I was taking 220 bags to 2 friends I knew. And the cop passed me. And as soon as he passed me and looking at me, I knew he was turning around. I was on a bicycle because easier to get away. So I just stopped, threw the bike down, lit up a cigarette, and waited for the cop to come back. Didn't run, didn't take the dope out of my pocket, nothing. I just said, I gave up right then. They arrested me, took me to jail, and I went in front of the judge who I played basketball with all through school. And when I played, he was a good friend of mine growing up. And he pulled me to the side and told me, he said, dude, what the hell's wrong with you? He said, you look like shit. You don't even talk the same. You don't act the same. He said, what the fuck's going on? So I broke down and told him, like, I can't do it here, man. I can't do anything in Meigs County that's not going to cause me to go to prison or kill myself. I said, I need help. I need out of Meigs County. And I told him about the halfway house where my brother was at in Marietta, which was the reason he stayed in Marietta. They helped him out a lot. So I figured, they should be able to help me. So they put me back in jail. My PO comes in 2 days later, tells me, pack it up. I'm going to Marietta. So I got excited, thinking, okay, life's about to change for me. Go to Marietta and I start this rehab recovery thing. The staff down there at the Oriana House in Marietta was hell. There was a male staff member down there that kept grabbing on my ass, making rude sexual comments, just a nasty dude. And I kept telling them about it and they wouldn't do shit. So he grabbed me one day and made a remark that just went through me. So I threatened to kill him. Swung on him and hit a wall. They called the law and arrested me. I had 2 weeks left of a 6-month program. And I'd completed it and I'd got to be off probation and leave. So they arrested me, took me to the regional up there in Marietta, and they sent APA from Columbus down. When I explained to them what had happened with the staff member, they called my PO. Told him, look, this isn't this guy's fault. I'd have done the same thing. So my PO calls me and asks me if I'll come to the Carlson Center here in Athens for a 2-month program. I was like, yeah, bet. So they bring me to Athens. with the outfit I got arrested on with. No wallet, no cell phone, no cigarettes, nothing. So the staff down here at the Carlson Center drove all the way to Marietta to get my stuff a week later when he had a chance to, you know what I mean? He didn't have to. He done it on his own time and his own dime.
Right.
Brings back all my clothes, and the assholes dumped trash in my clothes.
What?
Took a trash can, dumped it in my shit, broke all my phones. Yeah.
What?
And the staff member at the Carlson Center come back. And he's like, dude, I don't know how you did it. He said, I went in there 5 minutes and wanted to beat their asses. He said, there's some mouthy, rude fucking people there. So I done my 2 months at the Carlson Center and met some staff members down there that really cared about people. One of the guys that worked there became my sponsor. And he told me as we're in the gym working out one day that he could see it in my eyes that I was just done. I was spent. And I told him, I said, I got two options right now. Either this recovery shit works or I kill myself. I said, there is no in between. Like, I can't do it no more. Didn't get to talk to anybody in my family since I went into recovery, except for Ashley and my baby brother. They were the only two people that would have anything to do with me. They're the only ones that supported me until I met Ashley's family. When I left the Carlson Center, they took me straight to the John Clem Recovery House, where I met Steve and Chelsea. And they're such an amazing people. I can't tell you how awesome they are. I was still hot-headed, still had a lot of built-up anger, a lot of shame, regret, and I haven't started the 12-step program, which is a requirement of the Clem House. So I had a lot of rage and anger built up. And when you get to the sober house, you have chores, things you got to do, yard work to do, and they cut like 5 different yards over here, like a big old area of grass you got to cut, which excited me because I love working. Anything hands-on, anything outside, I'm for. So we got along great in that area. Me and Steve kind of went head-to-head quite a few times because of my anger. He has anger issues too. He's also from Meigs County. It's kind of a norm down there for people to be mouthy and stand on the ground, you know what I mean? So me and him went head to head quite a few times. Still have a lot of respect for the man, even though we argue a lot. He sat me down, him and Chelsea, and had a long talk with me about my anger issues and the way I deal with things. And once I explained how his getting loud with me triggers me from where I was beaten as a kid, tortured as a kid, that loud voice reminds me of my dad. So I automatically go into defense mode. So he calmed down a lot. Like he learned to deflect my anger, which helped me out a lot to be able to handle anger now. I started going through anger management classes, started talking to a psychiatrist at Hopewell up here. They brought on Paul from Integrated Services. Great dude, very smart and intelligent and helpful. Like this man is so helpful. I went to a meeting up here, which was one of the few meetings that I actually went to and listened. Or no, I was in Marietta when I heard my story. Dude got up and was talking about his life story. And it's like one of the very few times I paid attention. You go to meetings, you start comparing yourself to other people. I'm not as bad as these people. You know what I mean? Well, this is the first time that I'm sitting there and I'm trying not to tear up because this dude's telling my whole life story about how he's beaten, raped, tortured, done all this abuse, drug abuse, alcoholism, all his times in and out of jail, being homeless, and all the crap that goes along with it. And like I'm sitting there listening to it, and I'm getting mind blown, like how much I can relate to this guy. come to Athens, and the guy that become my sponsor, me and him were talking, and I related a lot to him. And he starts telling me a lot of his story, and I start relating. So when we start going to the meetings, I meet people like Travis on here and Brady, and they're old ladies, which became a big part of my recovery. Just listening to them and interacting with them, and them showing me that they care about me, because it took me 8 months to do my 4th step, because it felt like I was doing a written confession. I
Yeah.
thought as soon as my sponsor read it, or as soon as I start going over it with him, the cops are kicking in the door and I'm getting arrested.
Oh yeah.
Because I done a lot of dumb shit that I never got busted for. And I always thought I would. Like, I've done some shit that I've caught beat downs from multiple people at one time. You know what I mean? Like, dumb shit we all do as drug addicts and
Yeah.
alcoholics.
Oh yeah.
So I started going to the meetings and actually started listening. When I heard my dude Travis here talking about his life story, I started relating a lot to him. So I started looking up to him. Brady as well, even though Brady's, about yay big, I still look up to Brady.
Yeah.
Stephanie kind of scares me, but I love her to death. I introduced her and Ashley, because her and Ashley are so much alike, it scares me. And then I put them together, and that scares me worse. But
Yeah.
like, they're a perfect match. Like, they have the same mindset, the same beliefs, the same goal. Like, they're just amazing people to be around. My guy Tony I work with, big time fisherman, and he's a workaholic. He's like me. He's always on my ass about my criminal talking, my criminal thinking, that mindset that I've had to adapt to since I was 8 years old, and running the streets on my own since I was 13. So he's helped me a lot with breaking all that. He's helped me a lot with my anger issues, because he's had a lot of anger issues, been in millions of fights himself. But he's got a big heart. Like, this dude's an amazing dude. I can't brag about these people enough. My guy Steve, the one I live with now, he's like a brother to me. He helps me out a lot through work, through life. We can sit down and talk about anything, just like me and Ashley. Ashley taught me how to communicate. Like, I've known Ashley all through addiction. We met 15 to 18 to a million years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I can talk to her about everything and not get judged.
Yeah.
I can talk to her about my feelings, my thoughts, my emotions, and she don't judge. She sits down and relates to me and talks with me, and helps me to feel as if I'm enough.
Oh, that's
She
good. Yeah.
introduced me to her family, and I get a kick out of her mom. Her mom, as soon as she heard, I want to introduce you to a guy, her mom's like, "Oh shit, another fucking dude. What kind of
Yeah.
nut job is this one?" And
Yeah.
her mom met me, and for some reason, her whole family fell in love with me. Her mom went through my criminal record, pulled out a stack of papers like this, and my brain, I'm like, okay, this relationship's dead in the water. Mom's about to kick my ass.
Yeah.
And she looks at it and looks at me. She says, she says, from this to who you are now and what you're trying to do, she says, it's a complete 180. She says, I can look at this and look at you and see a whole new person. She
Yeah.
says, so none of this matters to me. She said,
Aw.
this was your learning experience on life. Use this to help somebody else. And like, I fell in love instantly. Like,
Yeah.
I call her
Wise
mama.
woman. Yeah.
She grounds me all the time when I get in trouble. And I get in trouble a lot because I got a weird
Yeah.
sense of humor and a smart mouth. And like, I have so many things that have changed for me over my life just because of these people. I was homeless, hopeless, hardly ever dopeless. Like, I had life all fucked up.
Yeah.
I was running dope for like 4 different plugs, so I always had dope from them for running. people I was delivering to paid me in dope, so I never went without dope. My kids called me and told me that they needed me, and that changed everything.
Mm.
My whole outlook on life has changed. I have both of them now. They call me constantly. My daughter beats me up, picks on me like I wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
Ashley's oldest daughter beats on me and picks on me like I can't believe. And I love every second of it. Me and my son can sit down and go for a ride, talk, bullshit. Um, he's kind of battling his own demons right now, and I'm trying to help him a lot with it. Uh, I try to do a lot of volunteer work. Um, I'm getting ready to uh, volunteer as a event coordinator in one of the
Ooh.
programs I go to.
Okay.
I chair a lot of meetings. I share in almost every meeting. Um, I've made so many positive connections in my life here in Athens, the recovery community, the whole community itself it is completely amazing. Like I've never in my life had so many people tell me that they love me and care about me, or get so excited to know that I'm doing something positive. Like
Mm.
Monday, I start my very first day as a full-time employee for Habitat for Humanity. Um,
Ooh.
I'm going to be running my own work crew with CR&R. I thought I had their shirt on, but I don't. Which is community renovations and community remodeling and renovations. Um, my boss, Brian Doris, you all had him on here. Great
Yep.
freaking dude. He helps me out a lot. He has a lot of wisdom, a lot of sobriety, a lot of positivity. Like
Oh
he's a
yeah.
solid dude.
Yeah.
Um, I can't brag enough about Athens, Ohio, and I've lived 20 minutes away most of my life, and never realized the type of people I could meet here. Um, when I first come into recovery, I hated myself. I still
Yeah.
couldn't look in the mirror and see myself and not want to cut my own throat. Um, I called Ashley one day. I left the Clem house and went to a different sober house up here because I thought it would be an easier, softer way. And, and it wasn't. I got kicked out of there, but I was sitting on the porch and I already had my room set up. I had blankets, towels, anything to absorb the blood. I was planning on cutting my own throat that very night.
Mm.
I called Ashley and was talking with her and didn't have the courage to tell her what I was planning. Uh, I told her, I'm sitting here thinking, I said, I can't come up with 3 reasons on why I should want to live. I said, I can think of my son and my daughter, and that's it. And I asked her about a letter she wrote me when I went to prison, because I've been in love with Ashley since the day I met her. Uh, my sister will vouch for that. She told me flat out, "Oh, that's out of your leg. Give that up." Uh, but me and Ashley became best friends. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And it took a long time for me to even tell her how I felt about her. And she wrote me this letter when I was in prison explaining that she had the same feelings for me. She just didn't want to lose what we had. And she sent me a list of 175 reasons on why she was in love with me.
Mm.
And that changed everything. I sat on that porch crying like a little schoolgirl because I couldn't come up with 3 reasons why I should love myself.
Ooh.
And she wrote out 175.
Mm.
And it blew me away because these are thought out reasons. These aren't just because, well, you got a pretty smile, you got a good sense of this is some thought out shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And 175 of them, like I can't even come up with 20 reasons on why I want to go to work every day. And I
Yeah.
love my job. I love the people I work with. Like working for Habitat's been a passion of mine for years. And I finally got in the door, you know what I mean? And it blew me away. And like all of my life, I've been put down, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
always been white trash, come from a poor family of drunks and alcoholics and drug addicts and bikers and violent people. And like, it, it fucked me up to read that letter. So I went upstairs and I seen everything that was laid out, and I broke down again, started crying, put everything away. I woke up that next morning and felt like God had laid his hand on me or something, you know what I mean? Like I was on a whole new plane of life. I walked outside for the first time and seen the sunrise, and it blew me away. I'd never seen something so beautiful. Never looked at it. During my whole life of drug addiction and alcoholism, I never thought to look at the sun. Never thought to look at the sky, the moon, the stars, the animals. When I went back to the Clem house after getting kicked out of the other sober house, me and Steve and Chelsea sat down again and had a long talk. And they welcomed me back with open arms. And I started hunting for a sponsor. And I asked a gentleman to be my sponsor, and he relapsed right as we got to the fourth step. So I put off finding another sponsor because the fourth step scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Fourth and fifth step. So the guy I met at the Carlson Center, who became a good friend of mine, became my sponsor. And when I told him my fear of doing his fourth step, he laughed at me. He told me that, I'm a dumbass, that, I knew a lot of his story and what made me think that he was anything to be affiliated with any kind of law enforcement. So when we sat down and done the step, and we got all of these resentments and all this anger out, and he was explaining how my part in it was, how I'm carrying all this baggage from my father who passed away, from my older brother who lives miles away that I hardly, don't even talk to anymore. How I'm carrying all this baggage from all this crap from when I was a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I didn't know how to let it go. I didn't know how to drop it. So when we got done doing the step, we walked outside and we burnt my fourth step up. And, he's told me flat out, this is our way of giving this back to God. Taking it off of your shoulders and giving it back to whatever power is up there. Just let them have it. So when I lit it, I literally felt this lift come out of me. Like I didn't have to stress over protecting this child that doesn't even exist anymore. The psychiatrist I talked to explained to me how to do inner child work and how to grow from your traumas instead of living and drowning in them.
Yeah.
And Ashley's been a big help with that. And her mother, her children, her stepdad, they've all helped me with this in so many different ways. To come into a family and actually feel a part of and not have any blood ties, like it blows me away. Because I can walk into my family member's house and the first things they want to do is start hiding their shit. Start looking down on me and tell me how big of a piece of shit I am, no matter how far I've come, no matter what I've changed about me. They're always going to see that old part of me. You know what I mean? And I understand that. You know what I mean? I can respect that because I've given them no reasons to believe anything I say. I give them no reasons to trust me around anything. For years, I on dope, getting high, and when they question me about it, I'd give them some kind of bullshit lie that they would believe. So I don't blame them for not wanting me around, not trusting me. You know what I mean? That's all on my side of the street. You know what I mean? I put all them roadblocks there. It's my job to remove them. And that's one of the things I've learned through this program is that I'm able to remove them roadblocks. I'm
You
able
are.
to set boundaries and have boundaries. I don't need to dwell on everything I can't change
Oh,
because the
that's good.
past is dead. It's gone. Only thing I can look at now is what I can change for the future. How I can make a better life for myself, my family, my kids, Ashley's kids, you know what I mean? Because they're my family now too. Um, I took them girls not too long ago and volunteered at the job I work, Habitat for Humanity, to help a friend who's receiving a house, who's got to have so many hours of working on her own house. So we went and volunteered her time. And them two little girls had so much fun. Like they adored it. Anything to do with power tools and working and helping and
Yeah.
hanging out with family, they adore and love. I
Mm.
take them fishing. Uh, Sienna does wrestling. I'll wrestle with her and get my butt kicked sometimes. Uh, Zoe, she's just the sweetest, beautifulest little girl I've ever met. Uh, and I have a blast being around them. Like I feel a part of. I don't
Oh,
feel alone anymore. I don't feel like I'm outcasted. I don't feel like the world wants me dead.
all
You know what I
right.
mean? Um,
Yeah.
my kids come around and hell, they'll even pop in and surprise me at Ashley's house and just walk in the door like family. You know what I mean? And as soon as they walk in, everybody sees them. They get bum rushed by everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, "Oh, Shay's here, or Damien's here," and just yoke them up and love on them. You know what I mean? And to me, that's what recovery's given me.
Mm.
It's given me a family back. It's giving me my children back. It's given me a life that I can look forward to. I have hope for the future. I'm trying to uh, widen my recovery. I don't
Mm.
feel like I should hide my recovery at all.
Right.
I know anonymity's a big part of a lot of these recovery things, and religion's a lot of the faith-based recovery, and I'm not in all that. I'm when I was in active addiction down in Meigs County, I didn't know anything about recovery. The only thing I knew about was the STAR program, and
Mm.
they've offered
Yeah.
it to me a couple times. And me personally, I can't bring myself to do that. Uh, to have to go and pretty much snitch on somebody about some stupid shit just so they get punishment while they're snitching on me so I can get punishment just seems like a vicious cycle of dumb shit. You know what I mean? Like talking about stirring the shit pot. So
Yeah.
I would never do that. I tell them just send me to jail or send me to prison, do anything. I'm not doing that dumb shit. Uh when I went to prison, I met some real solid people.
Yeah.
Like I had got word of my son being in some trouble, and it hurt me because I wasn't able to help. I wasn't able to talk to him. I wasn't able to be there for him. So I'm sitting in prison surrounded by thousands of freaking dudes and I'm crying. Uh, two of my homies that I kicked it with all the time come over and they sat and cried with me. We talked about our kids. And all three of us are sitting there crying. And these are some big old dudes. Uh,
Yeah.
my one dude, they called him Jamaica. He was like 6'4", 350 pounds, just a big old beast of a black dude. And he's sitting there squalling with me about his kids. And he looked at me, and this is the one thing that broke me. Is he looked me dead in my eyes and said, "Man, could you die for your kids?" I'm like, "Dude, in a heartbeat." So I cut my own heart open and give it to him if they needed it.
Mm.
He said, "Could you kill for your kids?" I said, "Dude, let a man touch my kids. I'll drop them. Any of them. Don't care." He says, "You ever think about trying to live for your kids? Trying to do the right thing to make them proud and
Yeah.
make them happy for you?" And that hit me hard. And it made me feel like a complete failure as a father.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it stuck with me. And when I come into recovery and my daughter and son told me that they needed me, like I hit rock bottom right then on that very spot. It wasn't prison that made me hit rock bottom. It wasn't the beatings. It wasn't in and out of county jail. It wasn't fighting with the law every fucking time I turned around. It was them words, Dad, we need you.
Yep.
And I crumbled. Like every wall I ever had built up just crumbled to the ground at my feet. And I never felt so low, so depressed, and so sad in my life that my children had to tell me that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's when I went running and was trying to find recovery, trying to find anything that could change my life. I dealt with CPS a lot through my addiction,
Same.
and they put me on Suboxones, and I was on them for 7 or 8 months. And coming off of them and being on them, period, made me sicker than a dog. Like I thought I was going to die every time I had to take one. Thought I was going to
Yeah, for
die
sure.
every time I tried to come off of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Like it was the worst friggin' thing ever. And that's when my meth addiction got real bad. Is when I come off of the Suboxones. I was using the methamphetamines to combat the feeling of the Suboxones.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Because at that time I was staying with my mother with my kids. They were wee little then, and I couldn't hardly get up off the couch unless I had done a bunch of meth, and then I could get up and clean the house and run and play with the kids and all that, and it just led me deeper and deeper and deeper into a dark hole until my family decided that I wasn't no good around my kids.
Yeah.
And pushed me away and wouldn't let me talk to my kids. The whole time I was in prison, I was writing my kids and mailing them out. My mother wrote me back and told me to stop writing. She's not letting the kids read my letters.
Oh.
That I need to get my head out of my ass and stop doing the dumb shit I'm doing and actually act like a human being for once instead of a piece of shit. And at the time, that fueled my anger instead of proving a point to me. It pissed me off at her. You know what I mean? I was, well, fuck you. Who are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But today, I can see that she was just doing the right thing. She was trying to protect my children from me because I should have never been around them that way in the first place. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, for a long time, I've blamed everyone around me for destroying my life.
Oh yeah.
When it never dawned on me that I was the one in control of my life. I'm the one that had my hands on the wheel, my foot on the gas pedal, running 120 toward a brick wall. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't see it. In my eyes, it was the world that hated me. I had nothing wrong. I was God. I was perfect. I was this. I was that. I did this for this person. I did this for that person. Why am I the piece of shit? But I was.
Expectations.
I was the complete piece of shit. I was the one who, if I didn't have dope, I was pissed off, fighting with everybody until I got dope. If I didn't have alcohol, I was pissed off, fighting with everybody until I got alcohol. My son was 5 years old and he'd come up to me as I'm drinking. I had a bottle of Hennessy and a case of Bud Light, and walks up to me and tells me that he don't like me when I'm drinking. I'm an asshole. And he was 5 years old. And that's exactly how he put it. You're an asshole. I don't like you when you're drinking. And that hit me. So I went straight to the kitchen and poured my alcohol out. If he'd have told me that about the dope, I'd have probably done the same thing then. But I didn't. I quit drinking alcohol way before I ever quit dope. And
Same.
there isn't a single drug out there that I haven't tried. From almost every pill out there. Only ones I really didn't care for were the benzos. They slowed my heart way down. I'd cough and puke up blood and pass out for days. My baby brother, he fell in love with them. He'd get drinking and eat a bunch of pills and then turn into Superman with freaking big ass mouth that you just want, you know what I mean? But I couldn't stop the dope. Even after losing the kids, it sent me into a tornado. Like that's when my drug addiction got to where I couldn't function anymore. You know what I mean? The depression, the guilt, the shame, the anger, it just consumed me. It swallowed me whole. And from the time I would wake up until days later when I finally passed out, I had to be high. I would go and break into empty homes, abandoned houses. I'd be up for so many days. I'd creep through the woods from one house to another house because the law was always looking for me.
Yeah.
I'd spot abandoned houses or empty houses on the way and I'd break in and I'd be up for so many days I would pass out in these houses. Wake up a day or two later and have no idea where the hell I'm at, whose house I'm in, or what's going on. And the first thing I would do was check my pockets to see if I had dope and a needle. And I would sit in these houses not knowing who lived there, not knowing where I was, and get high before I'd even leave the fucking house. Like it was completely insane. The day the cop stopped me as I'm heading up Mulberry to drop off some dope, I was so relieved to see him turn around to come get me that I couldn't even think straight. I didn't want to. I could have hid the dope. I could have threw it across the road in my dude's yard, but I knew he had kids. You know what I mean? I could have threw it over by the telephone pole or buried it under the drain. Like I could have done anything with it, but I didn't care. I knew if I was sitting in jail, I was going to be sober. I wasn't going to have the dope around. I'd lay at the rack for a week straight until I could wake up and feel better and eat. You know what I mean? So I was excited to see him. When he pulled up and we started talking, he asked me what was wrong with me. He says, dude, he said, you didn't run. You didn't take shit out of your pocket. You didn't hide. He said, you're not cussing me out. He says, are you dying? You know what I mean? And I flat out told him, I'm tired. Like, I'm just so fucking tired, bro. He was like, well, come on, get in the back seat. And the neighbor come over, a good friend of mine, Ashley's oldest daughter's dating his son. He still has the bike in his garage to this day. And that was 7 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He come over and says, look, man, what are you doing with his shit? If you're taking him to jail, he's like, well, I've got to wait for another officer to come so we can haul it off. I'm like, well, why can't we just let him put it in his garage? And he's like, dude, I'll put it over here. You ain't got to worry about it. When you get out, come get it. And he put it in his garage and it's still there. Last time I seen him, he asked me about it. I'm like, dude, give it to the kids. I don't even want that thing, man. Like, give it to the kids. Let the kids have it. You know what I mean? And I didn't realize I had friends like that during addiction. Like me and him hardly ever talked. I mean, growing up, we hung out all the time. But when I got older and my addiction started getting bad, like we quit talking. Everybody that was positive in my life, I quit fucking with. You know what I mean? If you didn't have dope, didn't do dope, or wasn't selling dope, I didn't have time for you.
I ain't fucking with you. Yep. Yeah.
And like everything collapsed. Like, I didn't know where to turn. I didn't know where to go for help. But I knew if I was sitting in jail, I would be okay. I wouldn't have to run and chase shit. I wouldn't have to feel the way I felt all the time. Because at first, the dope was my answer. You know what I mean? My very first time, like the very first time I got super freaking high and fucked up on anything, it was with my dad when I was 8. And I felt great. I felt like Superman, 10 foot tall, bulletproof. I was running through the house, running off the shit, hit the ground, get back up, laugh about it, and run.
Yeah.
Broke my arm and would walk down the road, bending my arm just so we can see the bone poke out the back of my arm and thought it was funny and cool. You know what I mean? So I fell in love with that lie that I was invincible, that I was tough, that I was somebody. Because when I get drunk and high, I'm a completely different person. I'm acting stupid. I'm dancing. I'm singing. And I can't sing for shit. But I'd get up at karaoke and give her hell, you know what I mean? Be up there
Yeah.
dancing, act stupid, stripping clothes off inside the bar, thinking I was the cool shit. So I fell in love with the lie. Like, after a while, the drugs and alcohol wasn't working. They wasn't killing any kind of pain. They wasn't making me numb. They wasn't taking my thoughts away. They would intensify it and beat it into my brain until I believed every bit of it. Like, I thought I was the world's biggest piece of shit. Like, I thought I was the world's meanest criminal, the fucking gangsterest gangster. Like, I thought I was the most wanted man in the world. And I believed it. Like, I thought I was the only one deserving of death
Yeah.
because I thought the drugs were true. I thought they were the best thing on the world. And then they become my biggest demon. And
Oh yeah.
once I realized I couldn't shake his demon, I couldn't get it off of me, I tried my hardest to figure out how to stop. And I would go buy a bag of dope and give parts of it away to people just so I wouldn't have it. You know what I mean? Thinking, okay, well, this will keep me from doing so much.
Did
And
not.
it never would, because I'd go to
Yeah.
another house to make another drop and somebody'd give me more dope. And then they'd sit there and get high with me. And we'd sit there and start bullshitting. And before you know it, we're smoked up
Yeah.
a freaking 8 ball of dope. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I couldn't break it. I couldn't shake it. And I didn't know how. There's no type of recovery thing in Meigs County that have 2 meetings a week that nobody knows about unless you're court ordered to go to them. That's the only way you know about them. And I never got the luxury of that. It was always just throw his ass in jail and let him dry out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
I had no concept of a 12-step program, no concept of what recovery meant. And when I got introduced to the 12 steps, I'm looking at him like, are you fucking people special ed? Like, what kind of cult, freaking religion, freaking heathens are you? Like, how are
What
these
are you guys
freaking
on? Yeah. Yeah.
12 things going to help me? You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Yeah.
better than that. I'm stronger than that. I'm better
Yeah.
than all of you. How's this going to help me?
What kind of
And
fucking juju is this?
yeah, the whole higher power
Yeah.
thing, pray to your, I'm not getting down praying to nobody. I pray to
Yeah.
myself. I'm God. You know what I mean?
You ain't never helped me my
And
whole life. That's what I
yeah,
always used to say. Like I blame God for everything. You know what I
yep,
mean? I did, and I was kind of like you in that aspect. Like, how's this shit gonna fucking help me? You know what I
yep.
mean? Like, I've tried everything. How is this going to help me? So I shut
Yeah, I
up one
couldn't
day
figure
and
it
just
out.
started
Like
like,
12 little steps. I've walked miles to get dope. How's these 12 steps going to stop
yeah,
anything? Like, I've
yeah,
walked so much that I don't see how 12 steps are changing nothing.
yeah,
So, like, I balked. Like, I fought it as much as I could. And when I started working them, like, the whole religious concept, like, never hit me. The first job I got, I started working at McDonald's on Wrestling Avenue up here in Athens. And me and the manager could not see eye to eye. She's a rude, disrespectful, mouthy woman. And I've told her multiple times, like, look, bitch, I will cut your throat. Like, keep talking to me out the side of your head. You're going to be laying back here on your back
allegedly,
bleeding out. So I kept trying my hardest to keep my anger under wraps and keep my mouth shut, but it'd get harder and harder. And I started going to this church up here called the Common House. And as soon as my first day walking into this place, I was at the Carlson Center, and I walked in. I'm tattooed up. I got pentagrams on me. I got alien Satans on me. Like, I got all kind of crazy shit tattooed on me. And as soon as I walked in, these older women come running up to me and gave me the biggest hug I ever received in my life. Told me they love me and they're happy to see me there. The same thing happens at these meetings I go to. they all run up to me and give me these big, great hugs. I've had people tell me that the only reason they kept coming back to these meetings is because the way I run up and give them hugs when I see them. How I tell them that I love them and care about them, and it blows them away. Well, I'm working at McDonald's one day, and this is where my higher power comes into play and where it changed my idea on a higher power. I'm sitting here, me and this manager's done got into it twice over another employee and how she treats her. And this girl's been through a lot of trauma and addiction as well. So me and her got to talking and related a lot to each other. And she's been abused very badly, like has major, major trauma. Always apologizing, always crying, can't handle somebody touching her, like all kind of crazy stuff. But she's an awesome person. And this manager liked to make her cry and liked to pick on her because she was timid, you know what I mean? So I'd stand up for her. And she got mad and was cussing at me. So I threw up a Hail Mary. Like, God, if you're real, show me what I need to do before I go back to prison. And I looked out, not even 2 minutes later, and the preacher of that Common House Church was standing at the kiosk machine putting in an order with his son. Now, he comes through the drive-thru constantly, never comes in. For some reason that day, he decided to take his son in and walked in the door 2 minutes after I said that prayer. And as soon as I seen him, I knew right then I'm quitting this job. Like I'm out of here. You know what I mean? So I put my 2 weeks in and I started a job at Larry's Doghouse. Best decision I ever made. That place has amazing employees. I've become friends with all of them, including the head manager. I found out about Habitat for Humanity being here in Athens. And I started trying to get my foot in the door with it. And I tried to go through the restore and a bunch of other ways to get in, volunteered work, done all kinds of stuff. Had a bunch of people talking for me, trying to get me in. Well, I found out after maybe 5 or 6 months of me trying to get in that the Clem House had a program set up with Habitat for Humanity. And that they've already sent one client over there who messed it all up and they almost shut it down. So they set it up for me to be the first client to go through the 6-month program. And that's how I got my foot into the door with Habitat for Humanity. I had to get a license. I owed over $17,000 in fines just to get my license. And Ashley and her mom helped me out so fucking much on that one. We went to Middleport and Ashley's mom found out I had 7 open cases, 4 active warrants, fine for $2,200, and she got all 7 open cases dropped, all 4 warrants dropped, and the $2,200 fine dropped down to $700.
What?
Blew my friggin' mind.
What?
I'm still paying on $13,000 to the Attorney General's office. Like I got a massive amount of debt. Just in fines and restitution and shit. That I'm working off. But I managed to get my license back. It took me a little longer than 6 months. They had to extend the program for me. But everybody likes the way I work. I extremely enjoy working, especially building homes. Building homes for family that actually need a place brings a lot of joy in my life. To see the smile on the faces of the people that are getting the homes, the kids that are getting their own bedrooms. I couldn't express how much joy I feel every time I get to meet these homeowners. See the look in their eyes. Habitat up here does a children's playhouse thing where they build these little tiny playhouses for these kids. I got to be a part of that and watch these little kids get so freaking wound up over these toys and these little houses they build for them. Like I almost started crying watching these kids. Like it is the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. my stepdaughter, Sienna, is wanting to work for Habitat when she gets older. So I started explaining to her, started working with her. We're turning a 12 by 20 building into like a little tiny home. And she's been a big part of helping me with that. Uh, she can run a saw, she can run drills, like she can do all kind of stuff. I've taught her how to run a 0-turn lawnmower. She cuts grass with me. Like she's a tough little country bumpkin. Like
Aw.
she's an awesome kid.
So
Like,
you can say you're pretty you all your
uh,
dreams basically have came true,
yeah.
right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And it's
So
all due to coming into recovery and being able to be open, honest, and willing. Friend of mine, he's on here listening, told me the best part about recovery is getting comfortable being uncomfortable.
yep, that's true.
And like that kind of stuck with me. My first lead, I got up and I was so scared and so nervous. I told the whole freaking group that I felt like I was going to piss myself and pass out. Like I was
I
freaked
bet.
out. Uh, so they all took me to the back room and prayed for me. Like
Yeah.
everyone in the circle said a prayer for me, and that amazed me. So from that moment on, I got comfortable being uncomfortable. I got comfortable taking accountability for myself. Um, if I do something wrong, like where I'm at, the recovery house, the head manager and coordinator, when we do something wrong, they call us to their office. Um, Chelsea, she's a short woman, but she's scary.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when they call me in the office, the first question out of her mouth is, "What the fuck were you thinking?" And then they set me down and we talk about it. There's no
Yeah.
screaming, there's no yelling, there's no fighting and arguing. They let me explain what was going through my head and what I was thinking and why I made the decision I did. And they explained to me the other options that I had that I may not have seen or may not have thought of. And then we work out a solution on how to fix the problem. You know what I mean? We come up with a
Yep.
solution on what's going to make things work. You know
Being
what
a
I mean?
problem solver.
And that blows me away because I can call up any one of the people in the program I'm in now, and because I'm in a few programs, uh, I can call up any one of them at any given time. I have a list over here of more than 100 names that I can call at any moment and tell them I'm having an issue, and they'll sit down, they'll take the time out of their day and talk with me and help me come up with solutions on how to fix the issue I'm having, no matter how
Yeah.
big or small it is. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And
Yeah.
pointing me back into the right direction because a lot of times my first instinct is smash them all and let God sort it out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Uh,
Yeah.
I got 2.5 years sober as of Monday.
Yay.
A while back, my son had a big incident. He was out of the house, got drunk, got jumped by a bunch of people, got video of it. And my first instinct was to go to this man's house and start swinging on everybody and anybody that was there until I got everyone's name involved. Uh, Ashley and her mom took me and prayed for me. And before I made it back down into Pomeroy, which is just a 20-minute drive, my son had called me. And from that very second, my whole head went clear. The anger went away to a point. Like the anger was still there, but the worry to make sure my son's okay took over. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we went straight down and we took steps to do the right thing, which I'd have never done before. Like normally my anger gets that big, I'm coming to somebody's house. Like
It's called
I'm not
making a healthy
afraid to kick in the
decision.
door. I'm not afraid to fight multiple people. I'm not afraid to take an ass beating. I've took many of them before. You know what I mean? Like that never scares me. What scares me today is something happening to one of my kids. You know what I mean? I was trying to help Miss Zoe with a hangnail and actually poked her with my razor knife and it bled.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
almost teared up because I knew I hurt her
Yeah.
and it was an accident. You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
started tearing up and I started tearing up and her mom starts laughing at us, which made both of us quit crying, which was a great thing because I don't like crying. But it makes me feel bad to know that I hurt one of them nowadays. Back in active addiction, I didn't care who I hurt. That part
No,
wasn't important.
I don't think anybody does, when
You know what I
when
mean?
they're using. Yeah,
Like I don't want to say destroyed my kids, but I broke their heart.
for
I
sure.
changed their whole outlook on life because of my addiction. I put demons on them that I've had to deal with my whole life, that my family's had to deal with their whole life. Things that they should have never had to seen and deal with. I threw on them all because I didn't know how to not. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to not do the dope. I didn't know how to stop doing the dope. I didn't know where to turn.
So so how do you do it today? How do you stay sober today?
How do I stay sober today?
Yeah,
By constantly working on myself, by being honest with myself, by not believing all the crap that I was told my whole life. By talking with Ashley and her family, the guys here at the house, my whole sober community, by staying connected, by going to meetings, chairing meetings, sharing in meetings, by God, there's so many things.
right.
By
So
sponsoring people, by being there for friends when they need me, like Miss Bridget
yeah,
needing help on her house, like having that opportunity to take time out of my day to go help somebody, to be of service to people, to
yeah,
sit and talk to people when they're having issues. Like I have friends at Serenity Grove up here, which is a female sober house, that'll have issues and they'll call me up. They'll call me up when to take me to dinner. Like,
how
hey,
does
you bought us dinner the other day. We're coming to get you, and you're going down to eat with us, and
yeah,
I'm paying today. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
friends that take care of you. You know what I mean? Uh, I walked into a meeting a while back, and I was a little sad and upset. I had a bad day at work, and before I even made it into the meetings, 3 different people pulled me off to the side and asked me if I was okay,
yeah.
and wanted to talk to me about why I'm having a bad day and what they can do to help me turn it around. You know what I mean?
That's what
Like,
connection's all about.
oh yeah, here
Yeah.
here in Athens, like I have found some of the biggest hearts in the world. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I've found a higher power, and I see him everywhere. I was on the phone with Ashley when I was working at Larry's doghouse, walking a bike path. I had an earbud in my ear, phone in the back pocket, and had 3 deer walk straight up to me and let me pet them. While I'm on the phone with her, I had a little mouse. I named him Bojangles. Run up
Bojangles.
my leg at the Clem house and run around in my hand, let me pet on him and everything for 2 hours.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Just all
yeah.
kind of amazing spiritual experiences. Here lately, it's been hawks. I see hawks. If I'm talking to Ashley or talking to my dude Steven, um, and we're talking about something honest and truthful from the heart, I'll start seeing hawks everywhere, sitting on the side of the roads as we're driving by, flying in front of the vehicles. Or if I walk outside, my dude Tony's house, there's a big hawk sitting in his tree. Like anytime I start talking about truth, life, and happiness, I always see some kind of sign saying I'm on the right path. I'm going
So
in the
do
right
you
direction.
so do you
You know what I
follow
mean?
those every time you see them? Like,
Oh
is
yeah,
it something
definitely.
that's good.
And
Do
I
you use
tell everybody about it. Steven's so sick of hearing about hawks. He's ready to
it?
kick my ass.
Yeah. Alright,
I'm
so I got
surprised
some
Ashley ain't because every time I see one, I start counting them and I start telling her about them. Like it's wild. Just
um, so what would you say to a person who is still suffering today? What message would
um,
you give them?
there's a motto that I used to go by. At first, it was for my suicidal thing. I used to tell myself to kill thyself.
Mm,
It took me a long time to figure out a meaning for that. And I kind of go by that today. You have to kill thyself to grow for thyself. You know what I mean? You
Mm,
erase your past. Stop giving in to the lies in your head, the things you're being told,
mm.
and start fighting for yourself. Start fighting for a
Amen.
life you deserve because you are enough. Everybody is enough. You are loved, you are cared for, and you are wanted.
Mm,
Those are the most important things that changed my life, is knowing that I was enough, that I am wanted and I am cared for and I am loved and
mm.
I'm worth fighting for.
Look at it now. Um, so do you think that asking for help is a weakness?
No, I used to. Like, I used to think that I'm a grown ass man. I can do all this on my own, and I can't. If it wasn't for this community and these people here in Athens, I'd probably be dead. If it wasn't for Ashley and that 175-page letter, I'd be dead. Like, there's no way I could have done this on my own. Like, no
Yeah.
matter how bad I wanted my kids, no matter how bad I wanted a new life, I couldn't find it until I asked for help. It was the hardest thing I ever done, was asking my judge, my friend from school, to
Yeah.
help me, that I
Yeah.
couldn't do this on my own no more. Like,
Yeah.
that broke me down. I cried right there in his freaking courtroom because I had to ask for help, but I knew I couldn't do this on my own.
So what would you say
And
hope looks like for you today?
what hope looks like for me today
Yep.
is the family I now have,
Ooh.
the life that I now have, the dream that I finally got to come true. Like, I get
Mm.
to walk into work with a smile on my face. I get to work with my best friend. You know what I mean? My boss is one of the best dudes I've ever met through this recovery step. Like, he's so book smart on this book that he can pretty much quote out any page, any paragraph, any sentence. You know what I mean? But his knowledge of life and people is what blows me away, because me and him sat down a few times and had long talks with each other, and his understanding of people's emotions and thoughts is unmarked. Like, he's a very in tuned person. Like, he's an awesome dude to
Yeah.
sit and talk to, and his compassion to help others is inspirational. Like, he's sounds like I'm brown nosing kissing my boss's ass, but he's honestly a good freaking dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I love my job, just not that much. It's not what I'm trying to
Yeah.
do.
Well, I mean, it seems like you've found happiness, you found recovery, you found love, you found everything that you didn't have growing up, and that's an amazing thing. You know what I mean? I think we've all
Well, that's one thing
I've,
Ashley has brought to my attention, that the person I needed when I was a child is the person that I became today.
yeah.
And like, she's been my greatest supporter, my greatest everything. Like, she motivates me. She tells me truth. She don't tell me bullshit I want to hear. She tells me the facts. You know what I
Yep.
mean? The things that I need to hear. If I'm doing something stupid and I'm about to fuck up, she'll look me dead in the eyes and tell me, "Dude, you're about to fuck up." You know
You're
what I
being a
mean?
shit truck.
Yeah. And
You're being a shit
her
truck.
mom does the same thing, except her mom's more blunt with it. She's like, "Dummy, you're grounded. You're not doing this. You're going in here
Don't
sitting on your
do
ass. Like,
Yeah.
don't make mama get up." You know what I mean? It's like, yes, ma'am. Like, it's I think it's the greatest accomplishment I have today is having an actual family. You know what I
That's
mean? I
awesome.
have both
Yeah.
of my kids that call me. I have a loving family right there in Syracuse, Ohio, that I would do anything for. You know what I mean? And they do anything for me.
Yeah.
And they neither one of us expect anything back in return. You know what I mean? And that's, to me, is what family is. It's like my baby brother. I can call him right now and tell him, "Dude, I need $1,000. If he's got $1,000 in his pocket, he's coming over and handing it to me, no questions asked. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what makes it nice, right? Recovery,
Yeah.
like you gain so many things that you never had before, and that's what makes it so, so special. And
Yeah.
we appreciate you coming in and telling your story and telling us. I wish our mic was a little bit better and you could hear us a little bit more. I'm gonna work this out. I'm gonna work these kinks out. I swear.
All of it. And that's what I
But
told Ashley. Like, my whole nervous part was not coming on here and telling my story, but coming on here and not being able to reach somebody that might need a helping hand or that might need an open hand. List of numbers that I told you I have, my name's on there and my number. People can reach out to me anytime. If you're on Facebook and you need somebody to talk to, my name's
there
on
you guys
here.
go.
Look me up,
Yep.
hit me up. I'll be more than happy
Yep.
to help you and point you in the right direction. I'll sit
And
and
he
talk
will
with
be
you
on
for hours.
YouTube. He
Huh?
will be on YouTube.
I'll be on
He will
YouTube.
be on YouTube. Yeah. And he'll be on YouTube. He'll be on Facebook. His story, your story's gonna, it's gonna live on. You know what I mean? It'll be on our podcast. It's gonna be there. If you want to drop your anything in the comments for people to be able to reach out to you, absolutely do that. Your story was amazing because you know what? I think people need to hear like the trauma part of it, the not feeling like they're enough, like everything that you spoke of, I felt in my soul, just like I know Matt felt in his soul, and if you touched anybody and if you don't think that you did, you touched both of us tonight and we appreciate you more
Thank
than
you.
you know. And
Thank
you
you.
know what? Like, keep being you and keep reaching for the stars and keep knowing that you're enough and that you deserve everything and all the happiness that you're getting in life today. Don't
Well,
ever give up.
the best thing about rock bottom is the only place left to go is up.
Yes. And he said it.
So somewhere
Thank you.
out there, somebody's hitting their rock bottom, and I hope they reach out and know that there's another way.
Yeah.
Because I'll jump in that hole with them and tell them I've been in this hole. I know the way out.
Well, we appreciate you, more than you know, Thomas. And, I'm glad I got your last name correct. And I will make your shirt. We appreciate you. I will make a shirt and I will post it in honor of your episode today. Well, tonight, I should say. And, just if you ever want to talk to us, Matt, Kim, reach out to us anytime. And, like I said, I've said this to a couple other people, before, like, I've been thinking a lot about coming up to Athens to meet all you guys in person. So that might be something that we work out eventually.
Oh, that would be awesome. I'd love to meet both
Watch
of
out,
you.
Athens. Matt and Kim might be coming.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I love what y'all are
Bottom.
doing on here. I think it's a great thing. I think more people need to hear about recovery because,
Absolutely.
like I said before, I knew nothing about it. And if I knew about it beforehand, maybe things would have been different. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know I never knew anything about any kind of anonymous program, any kind of sober livings, none of that where I'm from. So the more I can voice and get these places out there and help people to come out of this, because I know the depths of hell that you have to go through living this way. And if I can help save at least one person, pull somebody out of this, I would feel like I've accomplished something. You know what I mean? Because this is a never ending battle and it's taking so many lives in such a short time.
Yep. Keep doing what you're
Anything
doing,
I can do
Thomas.
to help. If you guys need any kind of help, reach out. I'll be more than happy to help you in any way I can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you. We're out of time. Do you have anything you want to say? He's not very talkative tonight. He's tired.
Because
Oh, I can tell. He's had a long day.
No,
it's been a long week.
he said it's been a long week. He went to Connecticut on storm and now he came back. He drove over.
Oh yeah, he's definitely had a long week.
Over 14 hours yesterday to get back from Connecticut back to home yesterday. I picked him up almost midnight last night. So he's tired, guys. And we got
much love and respect, brother. Appreciate you.
We appreciate you. And once again, thank you for coming on Pages from Rock Bottom and sharing your story. Don't forget, guys, go like and follow the page. I will upload his episode to our podcast on YouTube. If you miss it, go watch it. Also, Monday we have Tracy coming on. I will post that here probably by the end of the weekend, and I will get your shirt made. And then I think we have a Kelly next week too. Kelly on Wednesday. We have all kinds of great stories, guys. Don't miss it. Thomas, thanks once again. Thank you. We appreciate you for coming on and sharing your story.
Thank you, man. Y'all have
You're
a nice
welcome.
night.
You have a good night. And everybody, thanks for all the comments and showing him all the support in the world. We appreciate all you guys, and thanks for supporting us each week, twice a week. Sometimes 3. But join us Monday with Miss Tracy, and we'll see everybody then. Okay. Bye.